Hi, me again. So, anime. People love it, people hate it, and some people just like ninjas. But today I wanted to talk about a little show called Initial D. This anime is about racing cars, but not like Daytona or Grand Prix. We're talking 90s Japanese cars. We got WRX-TIs, we got RX Turbo 2s, Land's Evo 3s. If you know what's good, you know what's good. If not, basically these are like the bee's knees of 90s street cars. I, personally, am not really a car guy, but my homie eats the shit up like it's groceries. So when he tweeted out, Second Stage, Episode 2 is where real men cry, I knew I had to check it out. So if you haven't seen this show, or maybe you have, but not this episode, let me break it down. A little bit of background. Initial D is about a guy named Takumi who works at his father's tofu shop as a driver. And for some reason, Takumi's dad drives like a monster and subconsciously taught Takumi to do the same at age 12.
That kid's been running deliveries for you since he was in the 7th grade?
Homie out here burning rubber at age 12. But to Takumi, this was just his early morning delivery. Eventually he realizes, hey, not everyone drives like this, and he starts racing, beating some really sick cars in the process. Here are some pictures. Yeah, they even look fast. So what does Takumi race against these beastly cars? A little AE86 Toyota Corolla, or Truno. And don't tell me you don't know what that is. Go out to the garage and turn on the lights. Your mom drives a version of this thing. But it's Takumi's skill that allows him to win every single race up to this point. So that's the gist of what I knew at the time. I didn't really watch the show, and what I have watched was either memes or like the first 2 episodes. Now this episode opens up with Takumi's friends at the gas station talking to his girlfriend trying to find him. We then cut to Takumi racing yet again, but he seems to be struggling as well as his engine. His opponent is impressed with his skills, but knows he drives the better vehicle. We also have the main antagonists from the first stage watching the race, and they acknowledge he's drifting faster than he's ever done before. Then, because the anime has to explain the plot so you know exactly what's going on and why, they notice Takumi is trying to compensate for the power of his 8.6 by attacking the... Well, just listen.
It consists solely of mid-speed S-shaped corners. In that section, the driver has only a fraction of a second to accelerate from one corner to the next. They have to be consolidated in their movements.
Right.
Yeah, so Takumi gotta go skirt because the Evo 3 go vroom vroom, you feel me? And it wouldn't be Initial D without Eurobeat. So Takumi acknowledges the difference in power between the 8.6 and the Evo 3. Just in case you didn't know by this point. They only said it like 3 times already. At this point, the Evo 3 decides to drift on the last turn and skirt the f*** away. Takumi, worried about losing, pushes the 8.6 harder than he's ever done before to catch up. Then finally... the engine blows out, leaving Takumi stranded. The villain drives around telling Takumi his engine dying is an automatic loss, and that he never considered the race a real race, and he leaves. He drives by the Stage 1 protagonists, telling them his engine blew out, and everyone is shocked. Takumi sits in his car, defeated, until his dad drives up in a tow truck. Takumi is dead set on rebuilding the engine, but his father says it's completely destroyed, and Takumi feels terrible. His father notices that, and tells Takumi it's not his fault, and he just so happened to be the one who was driving it. And that's where the episode ends. Oof, so that's quite a bit to take in. One thing I gotta give this show credit for right off the bat is the taste in music. Eurobeat just makes you feel like 4 times as fast. You can literally slap it in the background of anything and it feels faster. Point proven. I also really enjoy the voice acting, both the original Japanese and the English dub. In previous episodes, the original voice acting is pretty bland, especially Takumi. But this episode in particular, I've got to give the credit to the Japanese dialogue.
勘違いすんな。たまたまお前が運転してただけだ。お前のせいじゃねえよ。
When Takumi's dad says there's no way to fix the car, I hear flashbacks of my dad telling me to hold the flashlight in the right spot. You know what I mean? But the star in this scene is Takumi. For a guy who's typically laid back, you can really feel what he's feeling in the dialogue and the performance. So Takumi has raced guys with superior cars before. That's the anime's whole shtick. Takumi meets racers with cars that are bomb.com. They call Takumi a punk, and he whoops them like their mama used to. What happened this time? To put it simply, the 8.6 is rear-wheel drive, while the Evo 3 was all-wheel drive. The Evo 3 had a turbo and a misfiring system, allowing him to accelerate after the turns even faster, and Takumi's 4-cylinder just couldn't keep up this time. So those are the logistics of why he lost. But that's just scratching the surface. I really want to understand what was going through Takumi's head. So with the context from prior episodes, let's dive deeper. So Takumi meets the driver of the Evo 3, whose name is Kiyoshi Sudo, or according to the initial D, Wiki, Kyle in the Tokyo Pop version. Love that. So Takumi meets Kyle, and and Kyle's like, my car is the shit, and I want to race. And Takumi's like, yeah, it is. I'll lose. No. So Kyle says, well, I'll be here on this night. Be there, or if you want, I don't really care. And he vroom vrooms away. So Takumi's like, yeah, no. Later, Takumi received an anonymous letter saying, hey, your girlfriend is cheating on you with an old man. And he's like, no. But he gets tipped off saying his chick is going to meet the old man here. And he's like, no. So he goes. And you want to know what? He sees his girlfriend hop into the car with her sugar daddy. Up to this point, it was like a joke, you know? Funny, haha, my girlfriend's cheating on me with an old man. But when you finally see it, who's laughing now? Me, but I'm sure Takumi wasn't. Now Takumi comes to terms with the circumstances that are presented. He is obviously feeling a lot at once. Anger, sadness, confusion. He's hurt. He's not thinking clearly. So what do you think he's gonna do? What everyone else does when they're feeling a lot of emotions and not thinking clearly. He makes bad decisions. So he shows up to race Kyle, and rewatching this episode with prior context shows why he did the things that he did. He raced him because he didn't have a clear head, first of all. He was hot-headed, which led him to push the 8.6 harder than what it was capable of, thus destroying it. So in a span of a 20 to 30 minute episode, Takumi lost his girlfriend, his prize car, his winning streak, and on top of it all, he feels like he let his father down by destroying the very car he put together himself. The devastation he's going through must be unfathomable. And to make things even worse, his father tells him it's not his fault. He just so happened to be driving the car. Damn! You ever f***ed up so bad with someone, but instead of getting bitched out, they tell you it's not your fault? That shit hit different, man. You know, you can't help but feel guilty. These situations are very relatable. Doing things you know are wrong and hurting people in the process, being betrayed by the people you love, these are very real situations that you as the audience put yourself in and understand. And it's this next level of understanding that makes it so hard to watch. And it fills you with uncomfortable emotion that you can't help but express. In other words, that's why Roman cried at stage 2, episode 32.